Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining for July's Lava Network Ecosystem call. Today with me, we have Paolo Ribuffo, the Erigon founder. He'll share with us more about Erigon and what they do later on today. I'm Mordy Knoeller, head of Lava Foundation. Thank you all for joining.
Thank you too for to having me in this call. I'm super excited to be part of the ecosystem call of this your beautiful project, and because you work with multiple RPC, and we are producing software that is dealing with RPC is very convenient for us to be in there and maybe to explain what we are doing. And the point is that, as your ecosystem probably know, we are working as core contributor for the Ethereum Foundation. In the past, we have worked also with Polygon, Binance, and now we work just for Ethereum and for Gnosis. We could consider come back with this decision, but it's very capital intensive working with this huge chain. Anyway, it's very important for us to have this direct connection with the Lava network and with all the ecosystem, because we want some feedback about our software, how to improve it, and have some direct communication with your ecosystem. That's our main goal now. Actually, we know that Erigon is not widely used. We are very specialized in archive node or Ethereum and for users, and we want to have more share in the in the total amount of nodes out of there. And to do that is very important to give much more support to the ecosystem. So that's why I'm basically here.
We're really happy to have you with us, and we'll have everybody stick with us till the end. Paolo will have some more time to explain more about Erigon and what they're doing. So thank you again, and we're very happy to have you here. So quickly, let's go over the agenda for today. Okay, so first step, we're going to start with a quick review of the Lava RPC, what's been done the last month there in terms of fees and operations. Then we're looking at the Lava chain. Again, there, what's planned there, what happened last month, and other things we're working on. We'll go from that and review quickly the commercials. After that, partner spotlight, that would be where Paolo will be able to talk more about Erigon and the partnership and everything that it has to do with that. And then we'll finish with the get in touch and how you can get in touch with us and our team. And the last thing is how you can help us. So let's get started. So point number 1, Lava RPC. We have 3 topics we'll discuss today. 1, the new gateway, the Gateway V2, the latency pilot that we've been working on, and last, the quality of the RPC. And here you go. So Gateway V2, great news. Finally, it was launched after a lot of delays, unfortunately. But it was finally launched Monday, the 27th of July. Again, this is huge news. It allows the new consumers and users to kind of self-serve. They can pick their own tier. They don't need sales call. They don't need to work with a person from the other side to connect to the RPC. It's just a few clicks and it's done. You can pay per tier, Stripe checkout, very kind of convenient user experience. You get your usage insights as a consumer. Basically, what you experience and expect from top tier RPC provider. The funnel is essentially to go through the Stripe payment, onboarding paying users, then you can the way that impacts, or just the connection of the gateway to the Lava tokenomics and for the pools, right? So you have the Stripe payment that goes to essentially to the pools, except some Stripe and accounting fees. All of the payment goes directly to the pools, which goes to the providers and the ecosystem. Okay. It is worth mentioning, just 2 cents about the delay. The biggest difficulty there was to get actually the Stripe connected. As far as we know, we are the only blockchain foundation, at least set up out of the Caymans, that managed to get Stripe convenience and Stripe payments, which I think is a massive achievement and really will help the usability and the onboarding of new consumers and users in the future. How do you kind of experience this new, or where do you find the new gateway? If you go on the new website, which also you might notice it has changed. If you go on the lavanet.xyz website, on the top right, you have either get RPC access if you're a new user, or log into your account if you are an existing user. That's it. That was the first point. Second point is quality of service. So with the latency improvements that we've been doing, we've been working both on Cosmos and Arbitrum. I'll show the exact numbers later in a second. The next slide. Both Cosmos and Arbitrum are live. Next will be other EVMs that we're going to grow this to. We already are seeing massive improvements. Top providers, both on Arbitrum and Cosmos, are hitting very, very low latencies. So Cosmos 28 milliseconds, that's extremely fast compared to, I think, even the competition, even centralized or the biggest providers out there. It's extremely, extremely fast. And then on the Arbitrum side as well, 69 milliseconds is already competitive and around the same numbers as the biggest centralized competitors out there as well. And we see also that this is not just the fastest provider, that we have an ecosystem of relatively fast providers. And the idea is to continue strengthening the providers that have improved on latency or doing the best job on latency compared to the others. We will go into more details on this during the coming AMA with the providers. And I think it'll be either Ignacio or Pau will join that one. And also Paolo will be there as well and go in more details about Erigon with the providers and how they can help them. On the last kind of step here, that we are also actively interviewing providers. We have a questionnaire open already. 12 providers responded. If you have not responded yet, if anyone here is or any of the listeners that are providers, Lava RPC providers, and have not responded yet, please do. This is very important. The data we're collecting in the end is then transition and transform to make Lava better for providers, more sustainable for providers. We, based on that data, it helps us to focus on what we need to develop. So please take the time, share with us kind of your experiences. The more you help us, the more we can help you and the ecosystem at large. So that was the first major topic. The second one, Lava Chain. Here we're going to cover three things. We'll start with the heaviest and most important one, some risks with the Cosmos SDK that we want to discuss with the ecosystem. That we have to discuss that. We've mentioned these in the past ones, but we've been looking into it, and we'll dive into that in a second. General protocol review, and then provider rewards as well. So, Cosmos risks. As many people here might know, since the beginning of the year, already 9 major projects on Cosmos shut down, 12 projects migrated away. We also have direct exposure to that, where Leap Wallet stopped its activity in May, I think. That was which essentially leaves the Lava ecosystem only with one wallet, Kepler. Of course, that also raises questions general for the Cosmos ecosystem, and will we have other, where is the future of the ecosystem and the solutions and the tools that we depend on as Lava. And at the same time, Lava's core is not dependent on the chain, right? Our core is actually off-chain. What the providers deliver is off-chain, and where that is settled doesn't necessarily need to be on Cosmos. And there's a question whether or not that the fact that we are in Cosmos and we very much like the community and appreciate it and had a great relationship through the years, does that justify going forward the third-party risk for the Lava ecosystem and for the providers and consumers and users of the services. We will share in the next days some blog posts with kind of our deeper kind of opinion pieces. There we'll have also discussions via AMAs with the ecosystem in the next weeks. And we want to invite you all to kind of join us in the forum, in the Lava forum. You can find it on the website as well, and share your opinion there, and kind of let's discuss how we can solve it. We of course have done some research and have our opinions, but it's very much important that we hear from the ecosystem how do you guys see it, and what do you suggest to solve. And in the end of the day, any decision anyway has to be voted and agreed and voted by the ecosystem. So please engage that. It's a very, very important discussion. Putting that aside, let's look at the Lava protocol last month. So we were active last month on 49 chain. We had 52 active providers. Total CUs or 24.1 billion served. Relays, thank you. The relays 5.5 billion, so actually less relays than the previous months, which is funny because, as you will see in a second, total fees went up, and we'll go through that in a second. The main chains this month that got the most traffic was Near. Arbitrum and Ethereum dropped down a bit. It's also very interesting to see the change each month between the different chains. So it obviously fluctuates quite a bit when it comes to consumption. Now the more interesting part, or I think for many of the providers at least, we have record fees this month with almost 25,000 euros in fees collected by the chain for the RPC services. That represents about a 40% growth, so 38.7% growth from last month, and over 3x from March when we started the new work on the gateway, or the new focus around subscriptions and gateway, the gateway focus, as well as the smart kind of bring in contracts from smart router or projects from the smart routers, users from the smart router, and so on. At the same time, as you may know, the foundation used to top up to support providers from its treasury, and we've managed to reduce that to zero. So that's, I think, is a massive milestone. That now all subscription fees, all fees actually go through through Lava. They buy tokens from the market and are distributed to the providers in the ecosystem, and there's no need for an extra release of tokens into the market via the foundation in order to sustain and support the activities. So I think there's massive progress on that side. Still a lot to do, a lot to grow. We're working hard on it. But that's, I think, a perfect segue into Lava commercials, right? And we'll start with sales. So as mentioned just before, right, last month we had about 25,000 euros worth in fees. The vast majority of that came from the smart router, which grew actually this month by 40% compared to last month. I think last month was about 17,000 came via smart router. The smart router, for those who do not remember or do not know, is the Magma team's proprietary solution, and they have enterprise clients, and they route also to Lava. They route traffic to Lava, and they charge them accordingly. And we see that thesis of kind of the connection with Magma and the smart router starting to really pay off, or starting to, well, get traction, let's say like that. At the same time, we got first gateway subscriptions, so 636. Not a lot of fees came last month through the gateway subscriptions. That being said, the new gateway was just released this last Monday, so not surprise. Every subscription that came before had to go through a very convoluted manual process in order to get that closed. But still, we had a few closed already. Since then, we have 8 new signed paying users, 3 more in the process. We expect to get by the next top-up round, which is on the 17th of August, an extra 5 to 10. So we currently have already new revenue around 2,100, so representing more than 3x growth from last month on the revenues, on the subscription side. And that's our major push, again, to expedite that growth. Currently, both in numbers of paying users, but also in the deal sizes, where currently the average deal size, or the most kind of chosen tier, is the starter package with $199 on the gateway. When it comes to marketing, okay, we see growth on all channels, but I think what's more important than the growth on channels, except LinkedIn, which is stayed more or less the same as last month, more important than the growth on all channels is the fact that we've shipped last month the new website, as we showed before. So we shipped that. Check out Lavanet XYZ. I think it looks really nice. But feel free to give us your feedback. Very interested to hear what you think. And then we also shipped the gateway and the communication around that. We had a webinar with the Bundesblock, with the German Blockchain Association, and the Electric Blue Sandbox was kicked off. For next month, we have the BHL, the Alba Bay Sandbox, that will be kicked off. But the main focus is starting to kind of, finally we can focus on essentially MQLs, on transitioning users automatically via the website to the gateway and have them register on their own. So we are finally focusing on that, because there's a gateway that they can just connect, and there is no need necessarily for users to now go and reach out to our sales team. And I mentioned the sandboxes, so quick kind of review there. Electric Blue, we had the kickoff with the teams. I think it went extremely well, and the team starting to support and build. There were a total of 10 teams, or 11 teams, sorry, that joined that project, and then the BHL one will be kicked off in 2 weeks. It was supposed to be next week, postponed by another week due to summer vacations. We expect it to be as successful, if not more. I think it's from the ecosystem perspective, we see how these sandboxes really help to drive traffic to the RPC as well. They open up the opportunities to reach and engage projects at the time where the market is not in a good place per se, right? As many people here probably know, people don't tend to go right now and buy new subscriptions. But the combination of the gateway, sandbox, and the smart router seems to really be helping here, and tipping, I think, the momentum into the right direction for the Lava ecosystem. We're very, very happy about that. I would now go back to Paolo, put him on the spotlight. Paolo,
Yeah.
please,
Thank
tell
you.
us more about Erigon.
Yes. So what is it? Basically Erigon. Okay, we start as a pool player in the core software for Ethereum. For some times we focused our effort on doing better software for archival node. We shrink a lot the amount of data that have to be stored, and then we discover how to distribute on the torrent those data in a very elegant and decentralized manner. We are actually working with the Ethereum Foundation to open this kind of standard to every other client, but is just the work that is ongoing. Then we are actually working since the last 18 months, in the ZK proof area, and we are trying to push a new product that is called Cocoon. Cocoon is essentially a system to prove what's happening on a private chain, and it's something that institutional is are very interested in, especially for dark pool or other system that they want to keep inside their infrastructure, but they also want to give their clients the proof that their chain is working as intended to be worked. The point here is that we are interested in the Lava ecosystem more because we want to give much more support to the community that use RPC daemon and eventually core systems. I mean core nodes, because we know that probably in the past we didn't give too much attention to this point, because basically we are a research and development company. We try to find new way to a new system to enhance at its best Ethereum, and you know that our way to build nodes is actually used by other clients such as Rust. That basically was a translation in Rust. And the last part, in the footer of the website, scrolling down, there is a tiny button. Yes, there, which in the right part with Discord. It's very easy. Just click on that, and you will be connected with our dev team. Somehow you can ask questions, give suggestion, and we will try to answer as soon as possible, of course. But we really need to connect with your community. Thank you.
So first of all, we're very happy. Further, Erigon also joined. I mean, you mentioned the Lava community, so it's now our community, right? And yeah, many of our providers and maybe community members that are even not providing for Lava could be potential users of your clients.
So any contact is good right now, because we think our software is more stable and we have more time to interact with the community, because as I mentioned earlier, we did a lot of research and development and very basic algorithm and stuff like that, and now it's time to put more attention for the community.
Thank you very much, Paolo. So really, for everybody in the community, if you can help, that's great. Give Erigon feedback. I think that's really
Yes, thank you.
fantastic.
Really.
In this market, helping everybody to improve,
Yeah.
on usability is super important, especially now you're in part of the Lava community. So
Yes, of course.
strive to help each other.
Yeah.
Strive to help each other. So thanks again, Paolo.
Thank you.
Yes. So for everyone, feel free to get in touch. You can use this. Take quickly a screenshot or pause the video here, but and you can reach out to us via any of these channels. We'll also have links in the description of the video, as well as get in touch with Erigon. Please help them. And how you can help: introduce new companies to Lava, support the Lava ecosystem expansion, and of course, assist our ecosystem. And a great first example is assist Erigon, if you can.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
And
Thank you, Paolo.
Yes. Thank you.
It was really a pleasure having you here with us today.
Yes, me too, of course. Of course.
Thank you.